everybody, and welcome back to Horror Movie Yearbook.
Yeah.
It's been a bit. We had some stuff go down. We talk about it in our upcoming Tiny Terror, which you can hear now on our Patreon, patreon.com/MidwestPodNet.
Yeah, join the Patreon to get the backstory early.
Yeah.
So you can understand what we're talking about.
Yes.
But we still have a podcast. We're still recording.
Yes.
Still a thing. Despite the universe's best attempts.
And yes. I was going to say, despite our fertility's best attempts.
Yeah, right.
So whatever that means, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But you know what? The game nerds have. I'm refreshing right here just to make sure that I'm not missing. They haven't been real busy lately either. We got to get back. We got to get them back rolling. Their last episode. Maybe this was so controversial that they called it quits. It was John had a hibachi hot take on the last.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
John has a lot of feelings about hibachi. So maybe that was it. Maybe the game nerds said maybe it got so heated.
They bowed out.
They're like, we can't do this anymore.
I mean, what a way to go out, though. You know? Like if it's going to happen, might as well make it a hot topic like hibachi. I like hibachi.
Yeah. I had fun the one time we went. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we talked. Actually, you know what? I think we talked about this last episode.
Yeah.
So
we won't do that again. But yeah, I like hibachi.
I will say I've been playing a game called Balatro. This game has been out for a year. It's a card game, like poker. Have you heard of this?
Yes. We
have a coworker who talks about it nonstop. He works with me.
Oh, yes. I know who you speak of, I think.
He got me hooked. I'm not going to lie.
My brother bought my wife this game, or he bought her a gift card to buy. He said, you have to buy this game with it.
Yeah.
I don't think she has yet.
I am addicted to it.
Okay.
Completely addicted to it.
It's a problem, huh?
It's like its gameplay is very Tetris-like for me. Where you know how like do you ever get addicted to Tetris?
I played it. I never got
This is part of the reason I don't play puzzle games because I can't stop thinking about them.
Do you dream of it?
Yes, Tetris. When the Switch came out, there were one of the only games that came out was Puyo Puyo Tetris. Do you remember Puyo Puyo Tetris?
Yeah.
Do you know Puyo Puyo? It's like where you have the little bubbles.
Yes.
Similar style of Tetris. It was like a combo. There was one stretch of time where I played that game so much. Yes, I was dreaming about it. Like it was going through my head, like as I laid down.
That's crazy.
And like oh my gosh, even thinking about it, I had to put it away. Like I had to stop.
Good for you. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
Dr. Mario, like Dr. Mario?
I did, but I never got huge into that. I was always more of a Tetris guy.
Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine?
I remember that one. You ever play the Slayaway Camp games?
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah,
yep.
They're a lot of fun. They have a Killer Friday the 13th one. That's
great.
A lot of fun.
Yep. Puzzle Fighter? You ever play Puzzle Fighter?
I don't believe so, no.
It was the Street Fighter puzzle game.
Oh, how's that?
Fun.
Was there a Sonic one outside of Dr. Robotnik, or was it just
Sonic Spinball. That was the pinball one.
Spinball. I played a lot of that when I was younger. Yeah.
Yep. But Mean Bean Machine was like the big puzzle Sonic game. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Mean Bean Machine. That's
Mean
right.
Bean Machine. Yep. Yep. That was a fun game.
What was Dr. Mario? Dr. Mario had the
pills.
The pills, and you had to like rotate them, right?
The colors, yeah.
It's been a while.
Mean Bean Machine, they would like the beans would like join together when you connected them, so you could make a huge chain of.
Okay.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. I've
then
got
there was
somewhere.
Tetris had like the sphere, Tetris sphere, like.
I remember that. Remember Columns?
Yeah.
Columns is good too.
I even got like into like you remember Minesweeper?
Yeah.
Yeah, Minesweeper.
Yeah. Never understood the strategy on that one though.
You know, I used to have like a strategy.
Is there one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I can't remember if you start from the corners and work your way in.
Interesting.
Yeah. And you look at they had the ones. It's been a long time, but it had ones and the threes. Like it had the numbers around. Like those meant, like those were the free spots you had.
Is that still on all Windows updates?
I don't believe so. No, unfortunately.
Like if I check my work computer, is it going to be on? Is Minesweeper going to be on there?
I'm shocked if you. I'd be shocked if you haven't seen anybody playing it if it's on there.
Right. Minesweeper Solitaire was always on the
Solitaire. You win it and it gets the boo. Do you remember Windows 95? I believe came with Weezer, the music video, the extended music video for Buddy Holly by Weezer.
Yes. Yeah, you get the full story.
Full
tale. It was like what, 10 minutes long or something?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful.
The happy.
Those are the days, man.
Spike Jonze directed that one.
Hell of a music video director. Hell of a director, honestly. In general. Yeah, we're back, man.
We are back.
If you haven't noticed, we're back. All of our side quests and everything.
I have an idea too. So I think the way the recording schedule shakes out is we're going to do this week, we're going to do 2 weeks, and then we're going to do the 2 weeks after that. I think we should be able to get in, but then we're probably going to miss another episode in May. But then I have an idea for our summer series already, and you brought it up.
Oh,
yeah,
I brought it up.
Yeah, you want to talk about Universal Monsters.
Yes,
and I kind of think we may be able to do something summer series if you're down. And
I
said, I don't want to do it till the fall, but I don't know. I might be feeling.
But if you do a summer series, like we just save, we don't do the ones that you really want to watch in the fall.
I want to do something different.
There's so many Universal Monster movies that we could.
I'm thinking about maybe going through that's the thing is I don't have in my head, like maybe going through the decades, maybe picking one from the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, 50s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why
and
not?
then maybe do it a modern one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
And it was one of the modern ones. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, but we'll be back for a couple episodes, and then we might take a week off.
Yes.
Anyway, anywho, what are we talking about? Wait Until Dark.
We are talking about Wait Until Dark. We're going way back.
1967.
Pop in that time machine real quick.
All right.
What's our sound?
I had one. We just watched the Naked Gun trailer, so we'll go whoop whoop.
There we go.
That's the sound of the police.
Sound of the police.
So here's what I wanted to do, actually. We're going back to 1967, but I don't want to talk about any movies from that time. You mentioned, when you picked this movie last week, you mentioned the Bravo's 100 Scariest Movie Moments, which I think came out in like 2002, 2003, maybe, or maybe even later. I can't remember.
Yeah, that sounds right, because I remember that was kind of... I was pretty firmly, that time period, I was pretty firmly in, like, Discovery.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, I was really seeking out stuff that I had never... That's when I started getting into, like, Italian horror and J-horror and stuff like that. Stuff that I hadn't really, like, delved into.
And a lot of that stuff is on here.
Yeah. Digging into directors that I had never heard of before. Or maybe, like, I had seen a movie or two of theirs, and I really wanted to, like, flesh out my knowledge of, like, their filmography. So it was right around that time when this, because remember this coming out, I was like taking notes. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta see that. And yeah.
I watched it. So this was, I think, like a 5-part series. I think, yeah,
something like that.
And anybody who has Shudder has done a good job updating this. They've done their own. I can't remember what it's called. Shudder's Scariest. It's the same concept, but what it was 100 moments from movies that were like they deemed the scariest, and it's a countdown show. I mean, it's all subjective, and honestly, it's mostly just like you said. That's exactly what it's meant for.
It's great to discover stuff. Yeah.
Yep, and that's exactly what it's meant for. But yeah, it was on Bravo, it was on cable at the time, and they played it a lot, especially around October, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
But yeah,
and there were spin-offs too. Like they would add. The next year they had like here's like
even
50
scarier,
more or 30 more or something or whatever.
And then I think AFI had 100 thrills, 100 chills. Like they would do something like this too.
It's great.
But when you mentioned this, I remember like as I look at this list, this one always stuck out like a sore thumb to me in some ways. Wait Until Dark, because it's at number 10.
Because it's not.
This is not a horror movie in my opinion.
It is not.
Yeah.
I feel like.
But it's important. I think
it is. I think it. Yeah, it's very Hitchcocky to me.
Mm-hmm.
This one did stick out because it wasn't. The 60s were always a little bit more of a blind spot for me. Even now, like even still, it's one of those things where I'm starting to fill gaps. And I remember going like Audrey Hepburn. Really, like Breakfast at Tiffany's. Like she never. I just hadn't heard much about this movie, and I was kind of surprised to see it on this list. This is the first time I've seen it.
Yeah.
Like I always meant to kind of go back and watch this one. It just never happened until now. So I agree. It stuck out like a sore thumb for sure.
So and what I wanted to do here, I want to have some fun with this. I want to go. So the scariest moment that they picked to show as the number 10 moment was in this movie, and I guess spoilers, but so if you haven't seen Wait Until Dark, I think we rented it for like $4. It's on Prime, Fandango, whatever you want to rent it on. But it's the shot towards the end of Alan Arkin. I was gonna say Adam. Alan Arkin coming out of the dark, coming out of the shadows towards Audrey Hepburn in the apartment. After it's gone dark. So that was that. So now what I want to do here is I don't necessarily want to quiz because I don't have the answers in front of me, but I want to read the rest of the top 10 off and try to, I guess what they picked or see if we can remember what they picked as the scariest moment from this movie that I name. Okay?
Yep.
Number 9, Night of the Living Dead. I would assume that would be the cemetery scene.
They're coming to get you, Bob. Yeah.
The first appearance of the zombie.
Yeah.
I think that was probably it, right?
Makes sense.
Number 8, Carrie.
The prom.
That's got to be the prom, right?
Blowout. Yeah. No, it might be the hand.
Oh.
In the grave.
I'm still going to go the big.
Yeah.
You know what? It might even. So is it the big. They probably combined the pig's blood with the big.
Mm-hmm. That's all one sequence.
Yeah, that's all one sequence. Number 7, Silence of the Lambs.
There's a few you could use. I would say probably.
Would it be his?
They would probably do the Hannibal breakout scene. Where
yeah. I was actually even thinking the I ate his liver.
That's good stuff. Yeah, but the scene where he breaks out and bites the guy's face off, basically.
You know what? Now it's coming back to me. I think that. Oh, by the way, they have all 4 hours of the show on YouTube. Like someone uploaded the whole thing to YouTube.
Might be tonight. Yeah. Goodbye Horses is my personal.
Yeah, I don't know if they would have done that though.
No,
I'm with you. It's probably the breakout scene.
Yeah.
Number 6, The Shining. I guess it would be just Shining.
Probably the breaking through the door with the axe. Well, there's a few though, because the woman in the bathtub.
I was thinking the woman in the bathtub
twins.
or the twins.
I would say the hedge maze chase.
The reason I would say not the woman in the bathtub is because there's nudity.
I know what it was. It was when he axes Scatman.
Ah,
it's kind of a jump scare thing. Like that shot is weird because Scatman's here and all of a sudden he just walks out and just.
You know, I'm
pretty sure that was it.
I wouldn't have thought that, but yeah, okay.
I think that was the one. Yeah.
Okay. Number 5, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, the hammer to the head and then him pulling him. Yeah. That's the best scene in the movie.
That's the best scene in
the entire franchise.
Maybe even you could make a case for all of horror movies.
It's insane. Yeah. it's so scary.
Number 4, Psycho.
The shower scene.
Yeah, it's the shower scene.
I think there's scarier scenes in that movie though.
Me too. Yeah.
But yes, it's the shower scene.
The shower scene is the iconic one.
The mother reveal is
that was where I was going.
Gnarly.
Actually, that's the one I would pick personally.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Absolutely.
Number 3. So I think I know what they picked here with The Exorcist.
Head spinning, probably.
But mine is any flash of a Pazuzu face.
Yeah, and generally for me, it's not there's a. I don't know if it's just in the version you've never seen or whatever that one was called, the extended one, or if it was in the theatrical. I'm not. I blend the two together too much. They do a lot of Pazuzu flashes on Reagan's face, which is scary enough, but. There's a couple early on before she even gets possessed. I remember one in a kitchen, and the mom is Reagan's mom is just kind of like going through cupboards and like putting away dishes or something. It's like totally just the sequence that's like quiet and it's just like an everyday. There's nothing, and she like shuts a cupboard and like you see the face real quick in the cupboard. I remember going like, what in the like that was scarier than any of the. Because it was like, what? I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know if we've ever done this, because we've done our top 10 like movies, I think, by decade. We just did that. I might want to sit down and do like our scariest movie moments. Come up with a list of stuff that like has stuck with us.
That would be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That might be fun, though. Number 2, Alien. I would assume the chest burster.
Yeah, that's probably it. That's not my scariest for that either, though.
What's your scariest?
It's Scarrett in the vents.
Oh.
And he's like the motion tracker's beeping, and there's like the score is getting more intense, and they're like they're yelling like, oh, it's right by you, it's right on top of you, and he turns, and the camera's light turns, and the xenomorph shoots out, and yeah.
And then number 1 on the list is Jaws. I would assume that'd be the attack from under.
The opening attack, basically. Yeah, probably. Scarier scenes in that movie, too, though. The head floating out is freaky. Mm-hmm. The severed head.
What's his name's death? Quint's death.
It's gnarly, man.
It's gnarly, but it's not scary. We're all happy.
Scary.
We're happy for him. That's how he wants to go.
That's the way he wanted to go out. The death of the kid is actually kind of scarier.
Yeah. Maybe it is the death of the kid. I would...
Hard to say.
I'm gonna pick 5 random ones and then we'll move on because let's do number 33, The Fly.
The Cronenberg one?
Yeah. Probably when he starts decomposing, right?
Like probably was in front of the mirror and his ear comes off.
Yeah.
And his like teeth are. Yeah, that's pretty. It's scary because as you get older, you start to get more scared of this.
Yes.
Yeah, the vomiting on the leg always freaked me out.
Yeah, that's kind of
That like it's gross, but it's also kind of scary because I'm like, oh my god, like. Yeah.
Number 31. Actually, we'll say in the 30s. Friday the 13th. What do you think the original Friday the 13th? The arrow through the neck?
Scariest ones? I think the Kevin Bacon kills the scariest. It's the setup because he's I mean it's like this post-coitus thing.
Right.
And he's like relaxing. He's smoking a joint in the bed, and like you get it's the build-up. He's like relaxing. You get the drop of blood. You know something bad's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
And then like that sting from Harry Manfredini when that thing comes up. That's as a kid I was like, this is some scary like that. Yeah, the Kevin Bacon kills the scariest to me.
Let's do this one. I just had it. Number 82, Terminator. What do you think the scariest moment in Terminator, the original Terminator, is?
It's when he goes when Arnold goes back to wherever he's staying essentially, and he's like peeling his own skin off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's do 2 more here. I'm gonna go with number 11. I think this one actually is pretty easy. I'm just gonna say it anyway. Audition.
Oh God. It's the guy in the bag.
Oh,
I
was thinking the piano one.
No, it's the guy in the bag.
You're
dude.
right.
Way scarier. Way scary. The piano wire is amazing. The guy in the bag is really freaky. Wait, doesn't he eat dog food out of a? Oh God.
What a funny movie. All right, throw a random number at me. Let's see what we got here.
42.
An American Werewolf in London.
Transformation sequence, probably.
The transformation sequence?
Or
the Nazi dream?
The nightmare sequence is freakier.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think.
Like
and for some reason,
trippy.
I'm going to go back and watch this because I remember the Nazi, but it could have been a documentary about the movie where the Nazi dream is talked about. Yeah, the nightmare sequence is talked about. Huh. Okay.
It's trippy. It's weird. And yeah. The transformation's really great though. But I don't know if it's scary. Yeah, I don't know. That's tough.
So we are talking about tonight the number 10 movie on this list, as we mentioned. Wait Until Dark. This is my first time seeing it.
Same.
I had not really thought about this movie since the 100 Scariest Movie Moments, actually, until you brought it up.
Yeah.
All right.
But I mean, like, what a cast, right? Audrey Hepburn.
When you were,
Richard Crenna's in it.
Yes.
Alan Arkin.
Richard Crenna, who I know from the Rambo movies.
Sure.
First Blood.
Directed by
Terrance Young,
who was famously known for, I think, two or three of the early Bond films.
So yeah, Terrance Young here, because I was thinking about him a little bit. So he did the 3 Bond movies. He did.
Dr. No.
He's
right?
kind of responsible. He and of course Connery are kind of responsible for the screen version of James Bond.
Did he missed one though, right?
So he did Dr. No, From Russia with Love,
which is 2,
and then Goldfinger I believe is 3, and then he didn't do that. He did Thunderball.
And Thunderball's kind of okay.
So the thing is, like, I'm looking at his Bond movies right now, but like I'm not crazy. Dr. No is okay, but it's still like From Russia with Love is my favorite of the Connery Bonds.
Yeah.
Because that's the first time where I feel like, oh, this is James Bond. Like Dr. No is still kind of
like prototypey.
Yeah. And then Thunderball is really boring.
It is
for
boring.
most of it.
Who's the villain in Thunderball? It's not Blofeld, is it?
Is it Thunderball? I don't remember.
I can't. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So Thunderball has the Tom Jones theme.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, he missed Goldfinger, and I actually like Goldfinger better than his other 2 Bonds.
Yes.
Because that's Blofeld. Or no, that's Goldfinger. Yeah. So anyway.
I agree.
So and then he does. Then Connery does one more. and then
After Thunderball?
Yeah, he does Diamonds Are Forever.
Yep.
And then he leaves until he comes back again.
Kind
and
of.
never again. Yeah.
Which is a remake of Thunderball.
Yeah. So anyway, but like some of my issues with those, like, without talking too much about this movie right now, is some of my issues with those Bond movies that I'm not crazy about of his kind of come to the forefront. Like, they're very lackadaisical is maybe my word for it. They're kind of
and to be fair, and I think we said this before when we delved into 60s stuff. Oftentimes, I think you and I both find that the pacing of the films from this era tend to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
There's standouts, I think, that kind of like are able to kind of push past our view of the genre during this era, but yet they all kind of feel this way. Like
I think there's another issue with this movie.
Sleepy.
For me, it's sleepy. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. A lot of those early Bond movies are sleepy.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes British directors, like even like even modern ones, when I think of like Harry Potter, those Harry Potter movies, those David Yates one, they're very sleepy. Those back
it's
half.
True.
Actually, the ones with the most pep are the ones not directed by British people, which are the first three. The Alfonso Cuarón and then the Christopher Columbus ones.
Oh, dude, when I throw on that fourth one, Goblet of Fire, I like that movie, but I will pass the F out. It's a great sleep movie.
Anything, the ones that are directed by British people are sleepier.
Yeah. You wonder if is there a correlation between that and like Tea Time? Like, I swear, because they do like Tea Time on set, or they did for a long time. I don't know if they still do. I don't know, maybe. Huh. Interesting. It's funny because then I look at somebody, we were just talking about Alien, right? Then I look at somebody like a Ridley Scott. Like, I don't think any of his movies are sleepy.
No.
But he's kind of like, when I think of British directors, I think of Ridley Scott. Like, he's one of the first people I think of. So it's weird.
Right.
Because you're right. Like, it's almost like, I almost feel like it's more of a British...
I'm trying to think
like
of
a journeyman director type thing.
I don't know if Martin Campbell... So Martin Campbell is a modern Bond director. I don't know if I don't know if he's British. He might be British. But he did he did a couple of my favorite modern ones, which are GoldenEye and the first Craig one, Casino Royale.
So I'm not gonna. I love Casino Royale and I love GoldenEye. I'm not gonna shit on Martin Campbell or those movies, but I'll say this: do you think there might be? Is it fair to say that, like, I was just talking about Ridley Scott, right? Ridley Scott feels like an auteur type director, right?
Yeah.
Hit or miss. He's very much he's a director with a vision, and Martin Campbell feels more like a guy who he gets a job and he gets that job done well.
Yes.
And but like, I can't tell you what a Martin Campbell film is.
So, and
does that make sense?
No, and actually I'm going to loop this back around to Terrance Young, because you're right. Because Terrance Young, as I look at his filmography, and I think one of the interesting things we mentioned, this is not a horror movie. But I think I would make the argument it is horror adjacent, and it's actually important to the horror subgenre of home invasion movies.
Yes.
But with him, as you look at his life and his career, like, this is even him, Audrey Hepburn, three of them, and then Alan Arkin. Like, they have no other real anything close to horror on their filmographies. No. Alan Arkin, like the closest he even got into genre work, I believe, like, he's in Gattaca, if I recall.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is a stage play, though. This is a production of a stage play. So
they came out a year before. The stage play came out a year before.
Right.
Yeah.
So there must have been some hype behind that play.
Yes.
I would assume. And that's when you start to attach people, right? Like Alan Arkin at the time, kind of a younger, more up-and-coming actor. Audrey Hepburn, somebody who certainly has proven herself as like a star. Mm-hmm. And maybe this is not a later role for her per se, but it's kind of like a, she wasn't like...
She was more known for
Breakfast at Tiffany's level of fame.
Sabrina, like romantic comedies, yes. Roman Holiday. Those are the ones I've seen her in, at least.
This is a little later in her.
I'm not an expert on her, but the ones I know her from those three movies I've seen of hers, and like that's what I think of when I think of the very like the glamorous Audrey Hepburn. I think of every like dorm room, female dorm room. I like had the poster of the Audrey Hepburn Breakfast at Tiffany's poster.
Love it.
But Terrance Young was like a World War II. Like he got injured in the Battle of Arnhem in 1944. He was rescued by a Dutch family, and then when you look at his like filmmaking, like he does some World War II movies. He actually did he does a couple war movies. He actually did a Laurence Olivier Inchon in 1981 that was a Korean war movie that was a disaster at the box office.
That's right.
At the time.
One of the biggest bombs of all time.
Yes, but he would work with Audrey Hepburn again. He did a thriller in 1979 called Bloodline that also starred James Mason. But a lot like a historical romance. He did a movie called Serious Charge that I might have to go back and rewatch from a this might not hold up. This is a drama about a vicar falsely accused of sexual misconduct.
Oh no.
I kind of want to go back and see, like, oh man, how bad does this thing hold up?
I mean, speaking of Ridley Scott,
especially from a Bond director,
didn't Ridley Scott make a movie recently about something like that? Wasn't the one Last Duel? Wasn't that kind of about that?
Was that about that? I didn't see it.
I'm fairly certain it was Matt Damon's wife, Jodie Comer in the movie, accuses Adam Driver's character of raping her.
Wow.
And the duel is like Adam Driver and Matt Damon, like they're best friends, but like Matt Damon doesn't believe Adam Driver. Like it's like a
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I heard it's really good though.
Yeah. I can see Ridley. Like I'm thinking of a 1959 movie director.
I know.
Like I'm thinking like, oh boy.
I just keep bringing it back to Ridley for some reason.
So anyway, that's kind of Terrance Young in a nutshell. But yeah, he is not known for this. So anyway, I want to give our general thoughts on the movie, and then I want to talk a little bit about the home invasion subgenre.
Yeah. I think we should just let's just give it a brief review here. I don't think we need to go plot.
Right.
The plot's pretty straightforward.
It's just sometimes, and then sometimes I'm like, what the hell are these people doing?
Yes, the big caper is interesting. I'm not sure they had to go to those lengths. I mean, I don't know. Why not just I don't know.
So I made this joke.
Tie her up and
I made this joke.
Steal the safe.
These guys, by about the third outfit and disguise that Alan Arkin puts on,
it's very funny.
I'm sitting here going nowadays I almost appreciate the effort by these guys, these criminals breaking in.
They go above and beyond.
They go above and beyond. There's an elegance. There's a class to it.
Sure.
They didn't want to just nowadays they just throw on a scary mask. They get a bow and arrow.
They just start shooting people.
They just start shooting people.
No, you're right.
But back then they were very suave. It's very this is the Mad Men days.
They're putting the work in, man.
Yeah.
Good for them. No, it's a fun movie. It's very much of its time, and I don't mean that in a bad way. You have to go in it understanding and anticipating it's a 60s film, so it's gonna have a certain it's gonna have a certain vibe about it. It's gonna have a certain certain pacing about it. And I don't think that this I don't think 60s films, especially in this type of genre, are for everybody. I'm not even sure they're for me necessarily.
Right.
But I will say I had a good time with it. I think the performances are a lot of fun. I think Krenna's a lot of fun. I think Hepburn's a lot of fun. I think most of all, Alan Arkin is a blast.
He's really good in this. He's good in most everything I've ever seen.
Yeah. He's just a class act all the way through. I like that he's able to.
Was Alan Arkin on The West Wing?
You're thinking of
Alan
Alda.
I'm getting confused with Alan Alda there.
Yep.
Okay.
Alan Alda, Adam Arkin, Alan Arkin. Very confusing.
Have they ever done a movie together?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are we sure? Do you know?
I kind of feel like they may have. Those three actors may have. Obviously two of them.
Well, Adam Arkin is.
Yes.
His
yeah.
son,
Obviously,
right?
two of them may have. Have they ever acted together? I feel like.
I don't know.
I'm not.
I know Adam Arkin you love from H2O.
Absolutely, the horniest character in movie history.
That's right after True Lies. I get it. I mean,
yeah, but he's middle of the day. She's obviously having it. He's let me settle you down.
I still get it. Anyway, yeah. So Alan Arkin's great in this. He's very adept at switching from kind of, because once again, this is an adaptation of a stage play. So the costume changes and the wardrobe changes and that stuff. I can see that on stage.
Yeah,
I can see that. And I watched some clips actually from a Broadway production of this with Powers Booth.
Oh, nice.
As the Alan Arkin character. And it's worth a watch. The whole show's on YouTube, and he's very good. But I can see that the whole wardrobe change, character change, like that feels very, very live theater to me, and so I can see that being adapted on the screen here, and it still works. It's goofier though in a film, I feel like, than it might be in a play. But Arkin makes it work, and I like that he's able to switch. Like he's got a switch he can flip from kind of being over the top and goofy and kind of funny and putting on these characters he's playing, this kind of elderly man and all these different things he's doing. And by Act 3, he's like turned on the dread and the kind of the.
He's very menacing.
Yes, he's very scary. And that's an undercurrent. Like when you first meet his character, the true character he's playing, not his many alter egos that he kind of dabbles with throughout the course of the movie. You get that sense of danger from him. He immediately, you're like, this guy is not like Krenna and his buddy. Like, yeah, they're kind of 2-bit crooks, and like they're not good guys. Like they've been arrested for petty stuff here and there, but like. Arkin's dangerous. Arkin's character right out of the gate, like you can tell he's a different breed of criminal, and he gets enjoyment from. He's not just in it for to make money or to profit. He gets his kicks from hurting, killing, all that stuff. And when that Arkin comes back in that third act. Coupled with kind of the vulnerability and the really, I think, solid performance from Audrey Hepburn, that last sequence of the two together, I think, really works, and the use of darkness and the use of light in that final sequence, very, very strong tension building, and that for me, that last bit is the highlight of the film for me, and it also, I think, justifies us talking about this movie, even though I don't really think it's a horror film. I think there's other reasons that justify it. You mentioned the home invasion thing, which we'll talk about. But I think that last bit justifies us talking about this because that's very much. It feels very When a Stranger Calls or very Black Christmas. It doesn't like it feels of that ilk, I enjoyed it overall. I did. Even with my reservations about, admittedly, about this decade of film sometimes.
Yeah. So I did like this movie, and I know I've come across a little bit negative, but I did overall. I liked this movie, and I think it's a well-made, I think it's a good movie. My issues with the movie, actually, I think are something you touched on with the stage play.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think, and there's part of me that thinks like maybe a year after the stage play was a little bit too soon. I think it's a very stagey movie at times.
Yeah.
I think it's shot like a stage play. It reminds me of like this is my one problem. We mentioned the Universal monsters. Like I think of the original Dracula movie. There are times when in the original Dracula movie where I feel like in like the second half, especially if I recall, it's just like someone's pointing the camera at the stage. Like it feels like someone's just recording the stage.
Yeah, in the bedroom. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
And like in this movie too, like I don't necessarily think a lot of it is the most cinematic thing. And some of that is because as we mentioned, like a lot of this stuff, it's a different style of filmmaking, but there aren't a lot of this type of movie at the time. So it is like nowadays, I think the beats of a home invasion movie are pretty well.
They're
known.
Tropes.
Yeah, they're tropes.
Yeah.
And you can see some of it in this movie.
Yeah.
So, but now on the other hand, though, I do think it builds well. I do think it's the other thing too is because it's a stage play, and this is what I mean when I don't think it's the most cinematic thing. I think it's a little bit talky too. I do think it's a little bit maybe talky for me. Yeah, and I think that's because it's a stage play. But I think some of it would have benefited for me, maybe cutting down on that and kind of building the tension earlier.
I see what you're saying about the separation of time here, too, because it's a year removed from the play.
Yeah.
And you have to wonder if... I've certainly seen like stage adaptations done very well in film. But there's usually a wider berth between the success of the stage play and then the big screen version. So I can see them maybe almost not taking the time to develop it for the screen as much as maybe they should have.
Right.
So yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
And there's like our callback to our old podcast, Multimedia. There's a reason why some things work better, I think, in different mediums. And sometimes a stage play, I think this would, like, if I saw this exact same thing on the stage, I think it would have worked better for me, honestly.
If you went and saw a production of with Gojo playing the Alan Arkin role,
yeah. I think this would have worked for me.
Holy smokes!
Yeah. So anyway, I do like it. At the end of the day, it rides on the performances. Alan Arkin, you mentioned. I think Audrey Hepburn has the right balance of like vulnerability. She's very vulnerable character in this, and obviously a lot of it is her blindness. But a lot of it is just her in general. I think she toes that line well. And there's a helplessness to her, but not all the way. Like, she's not completely helpless. But I think you have to have that in these type of movies. Like, I think these movies work better when the main characters are kind of put upon and helpless.
And there's a certain we forget sometimes, like, there's a certain element of truth to the way her character comes off in terms of her relationship with her husband and just with like the world around her. Is we have to remember that, like, and it's a good thing, is women have evolved in terms of like their ability to be more like they've been allowed to become more like back in the 60s. Like women were kind of in their place in a lot of ways still.
Her main task in this movie is to defrost the icebox.
That's it.
I don't even know what an annoying task that is. What do you got?
Sounds terrible.
She has to chip it, right? Is how you defrost the icebox?
Yeah, we did that once. So I had a mini fridge at my parents' house in my bedroom.
Okay.
And I don't know if like the who knows? It froze over too much. The freezer started to almost take over the rest of the. I
remember, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. And
I actually have had to do this before.
I had to like try and chip it away.
You have to chip it with like I think I've used a screwdriver.
Yes, yeah. Flathead.
Yep.
With a little chisel or the hammer, like a hammer. I was like tapping it, but I kind of sucked at it, and then Nikki was like, "I'm gonna give it a shot," and Nikki is like, "I swear to God." Like, she missed her calling as like an ice sculpture person.
Well, it seems like it's women's work from what I saw.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe they got it right. She'll tell you the same.
Okay, so some random thoughts from this movie as I jotted them down. There's an amazing moment in this movie where Richard Crenna, who is also very good in this movie.
Yes.
The main reason that Rambo 3 is watchable is the team up between Richard Crenna and Troutman and Rambo.
Yeah, it's great.
But anyway,
nice payoff.
What's that?
Nice payoff.
It is. Yeah. But there's an amazing moment in this movie, Wait Until Dark, where he picks up a chair and a camera and he starts swinging it around, and he's like a lion tamer. He's like doing like a lion tamer move.
That's right.
It's so cool. I did like by the time he keeps showing up in costumes, I was cackling.
It was funny.
Yeah, you know what? And I do think like, that little girl is a monster at the beginning, and then she becomes kind of likable.
Yeah,
towards the end.
I agree. Yeah.
Lady in the orange shirt at the beginning. Look out!
Indeed. The movie opened up, and I was like, "Whoa, where are we going?"
Yeah, she is. She's going through like the airport. Like,
she's a fox.
She is a fox. Thank you. She knows it too. Mm-hmm. She knows it. That's where Terrance Young's Bond training really comes
sure
through
does.
Too. Yeah. There's a Batman reference in here. It's that must be an early Batman reference in a movie. I think. Yeah, so I don't remember the exact line. I think it's Audrey Hepburn's character. She says something like, "Oh, maybe I'll run into Batman or something." And my guess is it's a reference to the TV show.
Yes.
Remember when Batman used to climb up the side of buildings? Yeah.
That's fun.
But yeah, the finale is really great. I do like.
Yeah, it is.
I think there's some terrific stuff in the last act of this movie, and I do think that shot. There's a reason it's a top 10.
It's freaky.
It's really good.
I can only imagine being in the theaters and seeing this and going, like, that last chunk of the movie, like, people being freaked out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I read a couple places that, but I don't have verification, that said like the theaters at the time like would dim the lights all.
Perfect.
Yes.
Well, and the thing is, like, also part of it is Audrey Hepburn, right? So
right.
Like, once again, Alan Arkin was kind of an unknown at this point in time. Like, Alan Arkin was not Alan Arkin. And to be honest with you, Alan Arkin wasn't Alan Arkin for a long time. Like Alan Arkin wasn't Alan Arkin until like what, Little Miss Sunshine, honestly?
Yeah.
Like he had one of those like weird like late.
Oh, I looked it up. Him and Adam Arkin never run a movie together. They did, however, star on an episode of Chicago Hope together.
Oh, that's
Alan
nice.
was
The Chicago series.
Yeah.
Bringing people together. But Alan almost didn't have his like kind of rise.
He had a late career renaissance. Yeah.
He really did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, he was always a working
nominated
actor,
for that movie, right? Little Miss Sunshine. Yeah.
So he's kind of an unknown at this point. Audrey Hepburn's a star at this point.
Yes,
But she wasn't in stuff like she was not in stuff like this.
Yeah.
So I can imagine the audience like already kind of going in with like a kind of an attachment to Audrey Hepburn as like a star, because they were more attached to their film stars than we are now. I feel like we're very quick to be like,
oh, movie stars are tough to come by. Like there's
like, not any left.
No, there really aren't. That can open a movie or like that. I mean, there are people. Yeah, it's tough now.
I mean, there's people like there's actors that people like.
Yeah, like Brad Pitt's a star. Like,
but he though?
But he's not gonna move. I mean, he's a star, but he's not gonna open a movie by himself. Like, you're not gonna just throw Brad Pitt on a movie and make this many dollars. Like, you're not
the only actor who can still do that is Tom Cruise.
Even that last Mission Impossible, I think. You know what? Even he said something. Mm-hmm.
It's true.
The Mummy didn't just.
You're right.
Yeah, so like it's tough.
I'm not sure it exists anymore.
I don't. Yeah.
So anyway, but what I'm saying is like that adds to the element. I think I can imagine being in the theater. Oh, Audrey Hepburn, like she's America's sweetheart, right? Like whatever. And then you've got this like creepy kind of unknown. Yeah, like I'd be freaked out too.
Yes. Yeah, she had. Yeah, like she had done a couple. Like I'm looking through right now.
Yeah.
So she had been nominated, and she won the Academy Award for Best Actress in Roman Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
But like she had been nominated, but it's a lot of like Sabrina's a romantic comedy. Funny Face. The Nun Story was a serious role. She got nominated for that.
Mm-hmm.
Nomination for Breakfast at Tiffany's. Charade with Cary Grant is like a suspense movie, but yeah,
is that a Hitchcock one?
Charade
No,
Hitchcock? I don't think so.
It's not.
Yeah. My Fair Lady is not. Yeah, so like this is like you're right. Yeah.
It's different for her.
Yeah. All right. So final thoughts on this movie. I want to double check.
I think it's worth a watch. I think once again you have to go in understanding that it's an old movie.
Charade is directed by Stanley Donen, by the way.
Okay.
So, yeah. Sorry.
It's an old movie.
Yep.
So it's gonna have some of its pacing stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. But just go in understanding that you're not going to have some sort of thrill ride, beginning to end. I guess I think it's worth a watch. It's more thriller than horror, certainly, but I think there's some cool prehistoric material in there almost.
Yeah.
For some of the stuff that would come later in slashers and in there's a lot of like Black Christmas and stuff like that in this movie. I feel like there's like vibes. So yeah, it
is a proto home invasion movie, and I think if you watch it from that perspective, I think you will find a lot of interesting stuff in this movie to watch.
Yes, I think that's a cool way to look at it. Yes.
Yes, and I think so. I'm glad you picked this for that reason, because I do think I don't want to say it's like a must-see for horror fans, but I think if you are someone who likes this type of movie, I think much in the same way like watching some of those early like even if you're a slasher fan, like even going back and watching like a lot of the Giallo movies. Or some of the Giallo movies, or seeing like some of that influence, or even like obviously Psycho, or
I don't think you're going to be mad about watching this.
Yes, I think
that's where I'm at with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So what I want to do now is I want to talk a little bit about home invasion movies as a whole.
Okay.
And then we have some feedback from our fine friends and listeners, of which they are both. This movie. So home invasion movies, I don't think as I kind of went through and like tracked the course of them. So like you have some of the Hitchcock stuff kind of flirts with it. Dial M for Murder. The other one I think kind of early like 1960s is Cape Fear. Yes, that who's the actor in that one? Is it Mitchum? Is it Robert Mitchum? I can't remember.
It's Robert Mitchum and is it Cary Grant? Jimmy Stewart. God, who is the?
All right, let's look up the cast for the 1962.
Who's the lead in that? Yeah, I'm blanking.
1960.
I've been on the Cape Fear River in real life.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it's Gregory Peck and Robert Mitchum.
Gregory Peck.
Yes.
Thank you.
But I think I think those are kind of early-ish examples of this style.
They're early thrillers.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Thrillers with movie stars in the roles.
Yeah.
That's part of it too. Yep.
Yes. So a couple of early Hitchcock movies, and then like this movie in '67, and then I think once you get, I kind of think it starts to take shape in the '70s, because in the '70s you have Peckinpah, you have with Dustin Hoff's Straw Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I think is a very early example
of
this, and I actually think it's. Have you seen Straw Dogs?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's I haven't seen it in a bit too, but it's very effective. And
the remake was okay too, if I remember right.
Oh, who was in the remake? I
Marsden and oh God, who is the brown eye, blue eye? She's really pretty eyes.
Blonde.
Yes,
she
was Lois Lane in.
Oh my God, Kate Bosworth.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And Alexander Skarsgård is the
that's right.
Yeah, that was pretty good actually.
Yeah, but
the original's the original, but
yes. Well, the original is like because he's a pacifist in the movie, and these people break in, and it's kind of like similarities to like when we talked about with like Deliverance, a lot of stuff thematically involved. Like yes, that's kind of the '70s manhood being challenged.
Yep.
But you also have A Clockwork Orange, which has a sequence in that movie that is very disturbing. Last House on the Left.
Yeah, that's...
But you mentioned a couple. I think you mentioned Black Christmas and When a Stranger Calls.
Those both feel very... Yeah.
Right. And then I think, like, too, like, 80s, you mentioned it, too. Halloween, well, Halloween's not 80s, but a lot of those slasher movies take from this. I think even, like, the final girl trope, like, is born out of some of the helplessness of the lead characters.
I agree.
And then in the 90s, you get... those like kind of domestic thrillers, like the like I'm thinking of like Fatal Attraction, Single White Female.
Oh yeah, Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
The stuff where like we're like
Jade.
Thank you for working at a Jade. We always love to work at a Jade reference.
Any chance I can get.
David Caruso and Jade. David Caruso and Jade. What's the one? Is it Fatal Attraction where she boils the bunny?
Yes. Yep, she boils the bunny. There's a lot of those. That whole subgenre is really fun.
What do you think it is that's scary about home invasion movies? I guess is my question for you.
Your home is your safe spot.
Yep. Yeah.
It's the reason why Halloween is not a home invasion movie, because it's not her home, right? Mm-hmm. It's a neighborhood invasion movie. So it's like if you're lucky enough to live in a neighborhood that's squeaky clean and suburban and relatively crime-free and all these things, and not everybody is. Not everybody that's listening to us right now is.
Right.
Then Halloween becomes kind of a home invasion type movie in the sense that, like, oh, this is my safe space. But no matter where you live, dwell, hopefully you have a space that that is yours, that you feel safe in. Could just be a room in a house. You know, maybe you live with roommates or whatever. When that safe space, whatever that space is invaded, it's the ultimate betrayal of safety, right? Scary stuff.
Yeah.
It's different from a siege movie. I love siege movies, right? And Carpenter, Prince of Darkness, Assault on Precinct 13, Halloween, Ghosts of Mars, funny enough. Those are all siege movies, which I love. But siege movies are different because siege movies, yes, there are attackers from without trying to get within, right? But they're never in an environment that is their environment, not their safe space. Home invasion's different because, like, this is where you cook, you clean, you eat, you shit, you raise your kids, you whatever. That's scarier almost. Like, it is. It is scarier. Yeah.
Well, then, like, so, I mean, it just even, like, personally, like, and I joke about this, but there's some truth to it, too, is, like, I get home from my job, I come home, I'm with my family, I shut the door, and, like, everything in my brain, I'm very good, everything that happened outside of my house for that day
is done.
Done. I've shut it off.
Yes.
But but like the dangers of the world, whether they be human or like weather,
can technically impede on.
Yes, like
I was just down here.
Absolutely. Yeah. like it's out there. Like it's not stopping.
No.
Like
you're not safe.
You're not safe all the time. Like there's always some part of it. So that thought is scary.
It's a scary thought. Yeah.
And that is, you're right. That is why they work so well. Yep. There's also a lot of home invasion movies, and this one is a good example. Wait Until Dark, where there's a powerlessness and an isolation to things. There's also there's also kind of like another home invasion, or even just like horror subgenre of, how do I want to say this? The lead character or characters have a
disability.
A disability. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm like. Yeah. Stuff like Wait Until Dark. There's Hush, which is a good one. Don't Breathe is a recent one. Jennifer 8 from the 90s. There's the Mia Farrow movie that was Blind Terror See No Evil from way back in the day. The Quiet Place movies. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of recent ones too, and I kind of think there's something to like the Quiet Place movies. I think do well in theaters because it is kind of a shared like experience to go to those movies and
try and be quiet.
And try and be quiet. Yeah.
Well, yeah. No, I think there's an element of if when you're forced to strip away one of your basic human your senses, right? Like,
yes.
That's scary. I mean, like, smell doesn't quite translate to screen.
Mm-hmm.
Taste doesn't quite translate to screen.
Right.
So, like, the audio and the visual are certainly the ones that would like, and by it's worked in. It works with horror because it's scary enough to have somebody trying to infiltrate in like in this film or in Hush, and it's even scarier when you think about the fact that what if you couldn't hear anything? What if you couldn't see anything?
Right.
So it's
I
added
all over, and I could not find an explicit reference in any interviews from Mike Flanagan or Kate Siegel.
It feels.
This has to have been an influence, because he mentions stuff like Halloween, but like this has to have been a major influence on Hush. And I'm not saying it in a bad way.
And the intruder in Hush is very talky, very chatty.
Yes,
very similar to the like when I watch the two, I'm like,
to me,
it's pretty spot on.
I love Hush, and when we talk about our favorite home invasion movies, that will be on there. And I think it's because like it does kind of what I wanted this movie to do, which is, you're right, he is very talky, but it is very cinematic in how it tells its story, and it does use some actual like camera work and things like that. So
it's ballsy.
But there's also one more thing in this movie that is a scary part of, and The Strangers is probably the prime example of the unknown, like why are you doing this? Because you were home.
Yeah, sure.
And there's a little bit of that in this movie because she's caught up in this and she has nothing to do really with anything. Like, she did not really bring this upon herself in any sort of way.
No, she's a victim of her circumstance, right? So,
and even Halloween, we talk, like you've kind of mentioned, but like that's kind of what's scary about Halloween too, is we don't know. Like the sister stuff would come later.
Yeah, this one there's a little bit more of a motive just because there is what's the term they always use for that in all the movies? The object that somebody wants to get a hold.
MacGuffin.
MacGuffin.
Yeah.
There's a MacGuffin in this. So it removes a little bit of the total like wild card, just like spontaneous violence or danger that you get in like a Halloween, where you're like, there's no MacGuffin in Halloween. Like he's just doing it.
Yeah.
But it's still there in the sense of like she doesn't have anything to do with that. Like zero. She hasn't seen this, touched this, felt that like there's no. Her husband happened to get it at an airport from a big-breasted woman who passed it off to him. That was it. That's her involvement.
Right.
So basically, she has zero. That's scary.
Yes.
Like getting roped up into something that you have no stake in it whatsoever. You have no part to play.
The husband's having an affair in this, right?
It seems that way, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Not explicitly stated, but
that's kind of how I took it.
Yeah.
All right. So what I wanted to do now is I want to talk about some of our listeners' favorite home invasion movies.
Yes.
And then that'll prompt us to come maybe think about some of ours.
Yeah, for sure. There'll be some shared ones, I'm sure, but
so Alex, one of the hosts and the founder
himself.
He mentioned the U.S. remake of Funny Games still haunts me.
Oh, my.
So when that movie came out on DVD, actually, because I didn't see it in theaters, I watched both versions of Funny Games.
Same.
Michael Haneke directed both, and they're shot for shot.
Which is so weird.
Very similar. Like, they're shot for shot remakes. And people have mentioned the cinematography is a little bit better in the U.S. version.
Yes.
I think both are very disturbing. That's the thing is like, I just like it all depends. I think maybe if you're an English speaking person, like you might prefer the US version. I will say sometimes the cinematography being better doesn't necessarily make it actually sometimes like shittier looking movies are scarier.
Well, there's that, and I think that the fact that you don't know the actors.
Right.
In the original, like everybody knows who Naomi Watts is. Like,
Tim Roth is in that one too, right?
It's like
Michael Pitt is one of the guys too.
Yeah, he was not a known thing.
That's right. Yeah.
But like Tim Roth and
Naomi Watts
were known factors. So you remove some danger, I think, from that. But regardless, the films they're both absolutely horrifying.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's. And ballsy movies.
If you haven't seen them, I think they're both worth checking out.
Mm-hmm.
But just know that they are like shot for shot. That's same.
You can watch either one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to judge you for watching the remake because it's the same director. So I guess his choice. But yes, prepare to be frustrated too.
Yes. So okay, a couple. Then we have Jason, who had a couple of them here. I'm just making sure I get all of them.
Strangers is one of them.
Yeah, the Strangers. He had
the Collector.
The Collector. Yeah, I didn't even think of that one. Don't Breathe,
which you mentioned, and the first scene of every Scream movie, which is
yeah, I think that's fair, right?
It's very fair.
Is he the one that brings? No, actually,
no
someone else
will
brings
save
up.
you. He brought up as well.
No one will save you. Okay.
It's an alien-based home invasion.
Oh, that one just came out. I was going to mention that one. Now
I want to see that.
Yeah, that's on Hulu. I think that was like a Hulu exclusive.
Is it good?
You should check that out. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
That's kind of like a sci-fi horror invasion movie. Yeah, obviously.
I'm into it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about a couple of those there. So
Strangers is great. Strangers is really, really.
Do you like Strangers or Strangers Pray at Night better?
Pray at Night.
I just do. I kind of like Pray at Night.
It's just more my jam. But I think Strangers is a better movie, probably like better film.
Yeah.
But I like if you're like, hey, which one do you want to watch right now? It's Pray at Night. Like, let's go.
Pray at Night has the best scene of any.
The pool scene is insane.
It's so good.
It's so good. I am a sucker for the Collector
You're
movies.
a Collector fan. I like the Collector and the Collection. I haven't seen that.
I like both.
We should put that. He's talked about making a third.
The Collected.
Forever. The Collected, yeah.
Yeah. I talked to the lead actor from those movies.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, like and he's like, we're working on it. Like, it's a thing. Like,
yeah, that's been.
It was a long time ago, so.
Yeah, that's been kicked around for a while.
We should do the Collector at some point. Or, I don't know.
Let's do let's put it on the list of we'll do both of them.
We could do like a combo.
Want to do a double feature of it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Should we do that next?
You know, I was thinking of doing something else, but I'm okay with that.
If you got an idea though, then let's go with your idea. We'll get there.
I actually kind of want to. Now I kind of want to go with that. Anyway.
All right.
So, Don't Breathe is another. Well, that we talked about the Scream. Don't Breathe too.
I don't love Don't Breathe. I think there's a certain secret. There's a certain bit in Don't Breathe that made me gasp in the theater, and it involves a turkey baster.
Don't Breathe. Yeah. Don't Breathe is a classic Fetty movie, in that there's it's a cool idea and there's some great stuff in it. But man, a lot of that script is just, I don't know.
Rough.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But, it's he mentioned, it's very much, it's a twist on the subgenre. Yeah. And yes, and I do like that. All right. So
Dave Steele.
Dave, yeah, he's the next one, right?
Yep. He mentions You're Next, which I love You're Next.
Yes.
I love that movie.
We talked about, we did that one on the podcast. I think that might still be my favorite of their collaborations. I don't know. The guest is really good, though, too.
It's hard. I think You're Next is my favorite, though. I like them both, but I think Your Next is my favorite.
Yeah, it's so good.
He mentioned Becky, which I've not seen.
Oh, you should. That's the Kevin James one, I think. Or is that Wrath of Becky? I can't remember which one. They're both pretty good.
No, Becky is the Kevin James.
They're both, yeah, and then Wrath of Becky is the sequel. You should check those out.
Kevin James is the bad guy in that, right?
Mm-hmm. He plays like a neo-Nazi, if I recall correctly. He's really fucking good at it. Those movies.
This is a sequel?
Yeah, Wrath of Becky.
Is he in that too?
That's what I can't remember. I don't think so. No, because I think he gets obliterated.
Okay. Us, which I also liked.
Yeah, Us is a movie that I have meant to revisit since watching it.
It's better on a second watch.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I've
I
always
liked it,
thought that.
but it's better on a second watch.
I've always thought, like, this is a movie that's going to... I need to start rewatching stuff from the last, 5 years.
It's his weakest still, though.
I really like Nope. I kind of love Nope.
It's so sweet. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Speaking of terrifying scenes,
The monkey?
the people, like, swirling around inside the... Jesus.
Okay, we got to talk about Bruce's.
Yeah, Bruce.
He made me so happy.
He's mentioned that...
he said Hellraiser Revelation.
Which is, not good.
Actually, someone later makes... the next one makes even but Hellraiser Revelation, the Paul Bettany Harrison Ford one.
That is Failsafe, I believe.
Ah.
Or something like that. Failsafe, I think it's called. It's like a tech thriller type thing.
Okay. Oh, no, Firewall.
It's not good.
Do you think Harrison Ford had any clue what, a firewall...
No. I'm not sure Paul Bettany does. I'm not convinced. Paul Bettany's married to Jennifer Connelly. He just kind of...
He just does whatever he wants, right?
Who cares?
He's got it made. That dude's got it made.
Shit, dude. Married to Jennifer Connelly and he makes Marvel money. Do you think Paul Bettany cares?
Paul Bettany's a charming little movie called Wimbledon.
I love that movie. I was just going to bring it up.
I do. I like Wimbledon
It's great.
a lot. Yeah. Was he in he's in The Knight's Tale, right? Paul Bettany's in The Knight's Tale?
No, you're thinking of...
Who am I thinking of?
Who's the naked guy throughout The Knight's Tale? No, it is Paul Bettany.
It's Paul Bettany, right?
Is it? Yes.
All right, A Knight's Tale cast. I like A Knight's Tale quite a bit.
Yeah, it is Paul Bettany. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Oh, who's the bad guy in that?
I haven't seen
Shannon. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah,
Shannon's awesome.
Hey, our man.
Oh, Tudyk's in it too. Oh, Rufus Sewell. Oh, you're thinking of.
Oh, I was thinking of
Rupert Friend.
No. There's another guy in it. He plays the king in Knight's Tale. It's the guy from the first James.
Oh, James Purefoy.
Yes, that's our boy. Just Purefoy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Anyway.
All right.
Paul Bettany's not in that movie.
No, but he is in Firewall with Harrison Ford. Two men who have no idea what a firewall is.
They have no clue.
Turbulent Juice is Tom.
We got Knock Knock.
Oh my god, I was so happy Tom brought.
It's a really good. Actually, it's a pretty good home invasion movie.
It is.
It's so weird. It's not like there's no.
It might be my favorite Eli Roth movie.
I kind of love it. It's good, kind of good, right?
It's trashy fun.
Yeah. It was free pizza, dude.
Keanu, as we say, knows the assignment in that movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
That movie works,
and it's really skeevy. It's pretty skeevy, especially
It's very skeevy.
Yeah,
but I love it.
Me too. Knock rocks.
The first half of Us.
Yeah. So he's not a fan of the second half of. Well, is he not a fan of the second? Or no? You know what? He's just saying the second half goes beyond a home
It's
invasion.
not a yeah. Oh yeah, Nick mentioned third act of Signs. Yes,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad he mentioned that. That Signs kicks ass, dude.
Yeah,
it kind of does, right?
Did we did a M Night bracket at some point, and I think we both had Signs going pretty far.
Yeah, like it's some post Signs M Night stuff makes you look back on it a little bit, kind of.
Yeah, and there's some
religious stuff in there with
goofiness with the water.
Too,
yeah,
and there's.
Whatever.
But it's kind of a sweet movie, and the home invasion stuff really works.
So I think
that's it. Yeah.
John.
Yes.
You know what he's
great
I'm sure
home invasion movie.
He said that as jokingly. I'm sure
it's a good one.
But you know what? When you look back at that, it's some of the trademarks are there. We talk about the helplessness of the main character. It's a kid home alone with burglars and stuff.
Yes.
So do you have any personal favorite home invasion movies that maybe weren't mentioned? Weird thing to say, I know. When it comes to I guess the Purge, that first Purge movie is kind of a home invasion movie. If I like Purge movies, it tends to be like the later ones. I actually don't like
I've seen the first 2. There's like 6 of them now, I think.
Yeah.
I did not like the first one very much. So
I'm not a huge.
And that's the home invasion one. So I never. Yeah.
There was another one. It was mentioned. What was it called? Oh my gosh. Oh, no one will save you. There's another one that came out a couple years ago that is about a a blind girl is like, it's like house sitting, and she's speaking to someone across the country through like voice chat or video chat. And she's helping her out over the phone or over the computer. I sound like Harrison Ford and Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
But it's called See For Me. It's on Netflix now. It's a modern example. I really liked it. It's a very solid, like 90-minute version of this type of movie that we watched tonight. There are a couple. There's the Inside, the French movie.
Oh God.
That I think should be mentioned.
Yeah.
In this, what was the other one that I wanted to mention here? Oh, we talked a little bit about Hush.
Really good.
I'm gonna be honest. That might be of like the more recent. And as I go through some of these, I'm not like a huge fan of this, but like Hush is it's probably
really
my favorite.
I'm gonna be really boring and say it. I don't really like home invasion movies.
Yeah.
Some
of these too.
I like Panic all Room? The ones. Yeah, but I don't. Yeah. I like. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Jared Leto's really funny. He's got
Dwight Yoakam's really good in that movie,
he's got
right?
Cornrows.
Yeah.
Dwight Yoakam's really good in that movie. Fishburne's good too.
Panic Room's
not Fishburne. What am I doing? It's a solid movie.
Yeah.
Why is it Fishburne? It's not Fishburne. It's what's his name? Our boy from Rogue One.
Oh yeah. How are we forgetting Forrest Whitaker?
Forrest Whitaker. Jesus Christ! All right, it's time to shut it down.
We gotta wrap this bad boy.
I am clearly exhausted from my bailing water out of my basement.
So anyway,
hours.
Those are. I think. Yeah,
I'm not a big like as a genre. If you want to, I'm looking at that list of people like that people sent in, right? Like, so I'm like, okay, I like The Strangers. I like I like funny games as much as you can, I guess.
That's the thing. Like some of these, like, how do I say I like? It's not my like.
You just don't say I like. You just say it's a good movie.
Yes.
I like the collection movies. So there's plenty I like, but then I go, I don't really have a like. I can't sit here and tell you like, oh yeah, this is a solid home invasion movie. I just don't. That doesn't. My brain doesn't go there. So, yeah, I agree with our listeners on this one. For as boring of an answer as that is, that's my answer.
So okay, here's what I want to do. Actually,
yes,
I want to do a movie that is actually from the same year as this movie.
Oh my God.
So I'm sorry, because here's what I want to do. If you're okay with it,
here we go.
And I'm going to put you on the spot here.
All right.
I want to do this movie because it's kind of it's a horror comedy from 1967. That's also kind of a I would say it's like a proto slasher. So I want to keep in the same vein as this. Like it's an early example of a slasher movie in some ways. Stars Lon Chaney Jr. and Sid Haig. It's called Spider Baby. It is free to watch.
Oh, Spider Baby! Wow.
Yeah, have you seen it?
Never seen it. No.
I want to do this.
Have you seen it?
Yes, I've seen it, but it's been a few years. I think I actually wrote about it on one of the websites.
Early Sid Haig. Wow.
So it's on Tubi. It's on Fandango at home. It's on Prime Video. It's on Freevee. It's on all. It's free. Is what I'm trying to get across.
I love it.
I want to keep in the same vein for one more episode and talk about this movie, Spider Baby. And then what I want to do, if you're okay with it, because this will give us a few weeks because sometimes I know it gets tough. I want to do that double feature idea for the episode after.
We'll do a double feature for
the
collector collection.
Yeah.
And then we'll start prepping for
You know what's nice about that too is it's kind of a combo home invasion slasher movie, collector collection. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's both.
Mm-hmm. So that would fit, and then we can go into our summer series.
Our Universal.
Yeah.
Which you need to work on. That's more on you, I think.
I'm going to put it, but I want to run it by the syllabus, if you will, for our summer semester.
You're more knowledgeable with Universal. And I don't want to step on your toes in terms of the stuff you like to watch during the Halloween season. Like Bride of Frankenstein, we're not going to do.
Right.
That's one of your babies.
There's a part of me that wants to do like a randomizer, too.
I'd like to do like London After Midnight.
That's a good one, too.
I've never seen it, so I'd like to do that. That's the Lon Chaney one, right?
Mm-hmm. We'll talk.
We'll talk. Anyway, so yes.
All right.
Let's do this next, and then
we'll do Spider Baby, and then Collector Collection. We'll do a double feature and
then we'll start rolling through our.
We'll do the Universal first.
We got a whole plan. I love it.
Look at that. Look at that. Hey, it took a month. Yeah.
Would you look at us? What's the Paul Rudd quote from that stupid?
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes you do need a month to recharge your batteries a little bit and just actually, yeah. So, all right, everybody, stay safe and stay safe.